Greetings, podcast listeners. So today we are interviewing two students who are going to finish their studies today. Today is the last day of the studies, as I said, and they have a graduation ceremony today. So we're looking back at what was done for the past 2 years by them, what was good, what was bad, what advice they could give, and Dennis, do you have anything to add?
No.
All right then. Okay, so as guests today we have Kevin.
Hello.
Some words about yourself?
I'm Kevin. I came to Jõhvi having previously a medical background and really enjoyed the journey and working now as a full stack developer. So liking my life.
Yeah, all right, great to know. Georgi.
Yeah, I'm Georgi. Before Jõhvi, I was working as a data analyst, so had background working with large and medium datasets, and currently I'm working as a software developer.
Mm-hmm. All right, sounds interesting. Well, at least the coding people. To me, that sounds awesome. I think to the podcast listeners, I hope so. I don't really think that there's like too much people who are not into coding that
listening to coding podcasts, right?
Yeah.
Like just like haters, they're listen to hate.
Yeah. Although there are like some people who put some weird podcasts when they sleep or when they do stuff around, so to like amass the knowledge of about everything about life in their heads.
We can try, right, like ASMR podcast episode.
ASMR coding podcast.
Coding podcast, right?
Yeah, just gonna record our typing.
Like 10 hours of typing.
Yeah, I mean, that's not for me, but I'm sure that's a cup of tea for some people. All right then, so how about our first topic? So, how was the study process looking back? Do you feel confident in the job market with the skills that the school provided? What was difficult about the studies? What did you like? And if the opportunity would arise again, would you repeat this process? So let's start with Kevin.
The study process, I felt like suited me really well. It required a lot of self-motivation and self-work, independent work, and I quite like studying as general. So for me, it was pretty much ideal way to study. There were times, of course, when it was hard to motivate myself, but teammates then usually helped out. They did some of the work or just helped me stay motivated. So overall, I really liked the process.
Mm-hmm. You talked about difficult times motivating yourself. What was behind that? Did you feel like overwhelmed by information, or was something different?
Yes, at times it was the overwhelming information and maybe hardness to find this specific focus, because software development and computer science in general is really wide. You can get lost in many different topics. And so it was hard to find focus sometimes. And other times, most of the times, it just came from the fact that I was at home alone. I wasn't here in Jõhvi. Mm-hmm. So I just needed to wake up in the morning and decide that, yes, I'm going to sit behind the computer and do the work. Mm-hmm. And sometimes it just didn't work without the external stimulation or incentivization.
Okay, so you talked about that your mates helped you out in the motivating process. What was like the teamwork inside your team? Did you like have a Discord call every day, or what it looked like?
Yes, we had these tasks or stories set up in Kidea, where we managed our jobs, and everybody could just pick a story from there or a task to do. And if we had questions, then yes, every day everybody was willing to talk over Discord. And we, not every day, but quite usually we did speak to each other over Discord.
I see. So you had interactions with the teammates only over Discord, or did you have like meetups to discuss some things?
When we came to here into Jõhvi, then usually we all came together and had some discussions here live. But otherwise, two of my teammates were from Ida-Virumaa, and one only was from Tartu, where I'm personally from. So with the Tartu teammates, we did meet up sometimes, but overall, yes, most of the communication was over the internet.
I see. So do you feel like the school provided you with enough of skills and tool sets to be competent in the job market today?
I wouldn't word it like the school provided, but I think the school nudged me in a relevant direction. Like as I said before, that there's just so much information in the computer science field, and I feel like the school gave enough structure, so I knew what I should be focusing on. In that regards, the program, I think, fulfilled its purpose, and that maybe was the most important thing it did. It just gave you the right information to process and study.
Okay. Besides the information that the school provided for you to study, do you feel like you need to research something more, or was the information in the curriculum enough to be competitive in the job market?
No, it definitely wasn't enough. It wasn't like even nearly enough. It was more like a pointer to me, like this is an important thing you need to know in the job market. Now go find the information yourself and study it. So yeah, I like my attitude towards the platform was that it tells me what skill is or what knowledge is important, and then I have to go to on YouTube or whatever medium or someplace to search out more information about this topic.
Like, do you feel that there are some topics that should be in the school curriculum that are not in there?
Yes, the most prominent one for me being automated testing. That was only at the end of each task, it was recommended that yes, you should have tests for it, but the writing tests was never tested itself. But in the job market, automated testing is a very important part of the job. So that was definitely lacking and could be improved.
Did you get up to the testing with in your team or not? Did you rely on those tests?
In one project, what was it, social network, we tried to write tests just to get used to the flow and see what writing tests even means. Yeah. And we didn't do like full coverage, but we kind of got the gist of it. But that was like from our own initiative, like the program didn't force us to do it. So yeah, we didn't do it for other projects, if I remember correctly.
And in the specialization path, did you write any tests, or did you just do the task?
I did the Rust specialization there for a few. I think we wrote a few unit tests because Rust has unit testing built in. It was quite convenient to write the tests. So, but nothing like large. Just a few unit tests. So
if the opportunity would arise again to repeat this school or to be in a similar environment, would you do it again?
Yes, I think I would, because for me it generally was quite a positive experience, and I ended up entering the job market quite quickly. So for me it fulfilled the purpose quite perfectly, and it's a lot shorter than for example university. So I think I would do it again.
Okay, great to hear. So, Georgi, how was the studying process looking back for you?
I was also studying remotely from day one. So in the beginning, it was a bit chaotical, I would say, because sometimes you still want to ask some question, and like during the process of studying or while working as a software developer, you learn how to Google stuff, but in the beginning you don't know. It's just computer hates you and you don't know why. so yeah, in the beginning it was a bit challenging, but I think I hope that I will get this paper today. So let's say that it went quite well. So
what will the paper say? You're a coder now?
Or what? Harry, you're a coder.
Yeah, that I'm allowed to say that I'm a coder, yes. Exactly.
All right, so the high grade will present it to you. Georgi, you're a coder now. It will be current.
Dobby is free, yes.
Okay, I see. Do you feel confident in the job market right now with the skills that the school provided you?
Well, I think the most important for me, what school gives is ability to learn and understanding that how to learn and the fact that you need to learn, because there was like during the curriculum there was no project which is like for which you don't have to learn anything new. So it was always like, okay, I start from this, then next time I maybe building some web page or something like that. Okay, I need to learn about that. Then you start working with databases, etc. So it's always like building on the top what you have already done, and also you are learning something new. And this is quite important because like overall in IT you need to learn constantly. So yeah, that is what school gave to me. But regarding overall skills, I think this let's say language selection for programming language selection for Estonian market is not the most popular, because we started with Golang, which is maybe like it's on the world it's widely used for microservices, etc. But in Estonia, I think that there's handful of companies which do it. It's mostly like Java, and we didn't have any Java during these 2 years. So, but I feel good.
So in a way, the school provided you some international skill sets, so you could apply not in the Estonian market but some other markets.
Exactly.
All right. So you're feeling like Mr. Pitbull, Mr. Worldwide.
Like I have a question. Like prior to joining school, you didn't have much experience with coding.
Well, I studied in TalTech. I studied business IT, so I didn't learn coding, but I knew something about IT. So it was more like maybe some IT analyst and some project management skills, something like that. So I more or less understood what it is about, but I somehow managed to be always in this analyst role or in some project manager role in teamwork, so I didn't code that much. But as I worked as a data analyst, so I had to learn for my job as well some Python, and I automated some stuff before joining Jõhvi. So I had some experience, but not that much.
After these 2 years, do you identify yourself as coder? Like, do you feel more coderish?
No, this is what I'm doing currently every day. So yeah, at work.
How about you, Kevin?
Yeah, for me too. I guess I would identify myself as a coder.
Does the school contribute to this, to your identity?
Yeah, definitely. I feel like the school contributed and helped me make this path less rocky and more like fluent, this progress.
Yeah.
I think for when you're starting programming, then like a lot of people want to learn programming, but then it's always like, okay, which language I pick or something like that. And then experienced people, coders are saying that pick any language and you will like learn basics, etc. Or think what you want to do. If you want to do some iOS apps, then pick this language. If you want to do server, but I'm just starting. I don't know what is server. I don't know what is app. And in school, you don't have option. You come here and you start with Golang. And Golang is very great language. I really like it. I think it's maybe my one of favorite languages. And you start with that and you do something. And then after like maybe half a year, you understand what it is, what I'm doing. So yeah, I think...
the school tries to teach like general purpose stuff and not make you focus too much on the Golang. I'm also doing Java at my job, so it definitely is a bit of more extra work to get used to Java and its frameworks. But I guess the general base of what web development is provided by the school.
Yeah, I have the same perspective that prior to joining to school, I had like the image was that this is so important to choose like to pick up the right language. And after a year, I was like, after writing like several programs and several languages, and I don't know, I don't feel like the language is has like that much of importance now. It's just like, yeah, whatever. What do I need to write and when? The language itself is kind of relevant.
And I think that's very related to actually job market, because we in our team also we are using mostly Java and Angular, but some couple of sprints ago there was some task and someone had to pick like do some stuff in C#, and then person told that, yeah, I don't know C#, but okay, I will do it, and okay, of course it took him maybe a bit more time, but you learn some basics, and yeah, so I think this general understanding of what is software and how it should work and etc. This is the most important what school gives.
Yeah, maybe. But like switching to the C# from Java, I think it's an easier shift than to switch from Golang to Java, because you had this. Maybe I'm talking out of my bum here, but if I do remember correctly, then the C# and Java has classes. So like you have the class workflow, at least in your mind. But like in the school languages, the Golang, the JavaScript, I think the Rust. I don't really know about Rust, but still, anyway, you don't do it through the classes and this workflow so much. Like I think that's one thing that school's missing. Like you learn that's quite beginner-friendly language, Golang. You learn the language on which everything in the web is based, the JavaScript. But then for other jobs, it could be great to have some Java and like maybe C to accommodate yourself to that class environment.
Yes, I totally agree that some exposure to Java during the studies would be really beneficial to everybody. Yeah.
And I agree what Kevin previously told about like that school is giving basics, because I mentioned that we were working with databases, but in every task it was more or less like strictly told that you should use SQLite. Yeah. And okay, you can use SQLite in real project for some testing on locally, but no one is using SQLite for production-ready solution. So you anyway need to learn some, MySQL or Postgres or whatever. So yeah, you understand that what is SQL, for what it is used. And I personally broke rule with some task because I just wanted to try out this PostgreSQL, and yeah, of course it was told that I should use SQLite, but we with the team decided to take this risk and build everything on PostgreSQL to understand, like to have this experience of what market is requiring. So
you rebelled against the rules.
All right. So Georgi, if the opportunity would arise again, would you repeat the school, or was it a waste of time for you?
I would definitely repeat. I would definitely repeat. Why I was so unsure is because during my studies I switched in my job position twice, and it was very chaotical because I had to like learn a lot in school and at job as well. So maybe if I would come for the second time, I wish I stayed like in a bit more, static job position during the studies, because then you know what you are doing at job, and then you can learn better at school.
Yeah, because like managing two positions, like learning two positions and at the same time doing school, that sounds wow.
But now you've been through this process, like through the studies, and if you, like in this imaginary world, start over again with all your experience, what would you change, if any?
I think for me, the biggest thing which I would change is I would find some time to come to Jõhvi, or previously Sillamäe, because I think it's my fourth time during 2 years period when I'm in school building actually. So I was lacking this. Of course, some events which happened in Tallinn, I visited them, but I wish I visited more events on site. That would be very beneficial because actually school is doing a lot for students.
Do you have some events in mind that you would want to visit that you didn't have a chance to?
One which happened in Tallinn, I think it was with some partner about Kubernetes. So we had at the same time JavaScript, this Piscine?
Yeah.
Was it called Piscine? Yeah. And it was very not very suitable time. So I wrote down my name, but then at this day we had, I think, 15 tasks or something like that.
Yeah.
And I was just, I saw that I will not finish. I will never ever finish if I go to this event. So I had to skip it. And I think that was quite interesting. Some events which are here on place, I cannot, which happened in Jõhvi, I cannot name any because there was a lot of them. And I don't remember like events that I didn't visit.
Okay.
But yeah, just being here and seeing faces and talking face to face, I think that also would be nice.
I think we are touching a very important point here. Like, if I'm studying remotely, it's kind of harder for me to connect with people. And did you find like friends or sense of community, and that you're actually like finishing the school and you have the community and the friends? I got it from like previous schools, and maybe here I would love to have it more of that. What about you?
Yes, definitely. More stuff should be happening at Jõhvi to incentivize people to come here more and to even maybe live here. That I agree with. Because for me also, like, the highlights of the studies were the events. I think the events were pretty much all quite awesome. I really enjoyed them. Like, I came to the cybersecurity hackathon, I came to the job fair, to the new building opening. Like, all these events were really great. So yeah, if you could add more of this energy that these events had to the everyday life of the school, it would be great. Yeah, because yeah, I think I also only visited during the events, and it was maybe 3-4 times after the sprint.
Did you find friends?
Yes, I think like I got close with my team, so because we worked together every day, and some couple of more people, but it wasn't like 100 people that I knew. It wasn't like this huge community. It was more like a small group of people that I got to know. And I agree that this could be better, and would be nice to have this bigger community after graduation.
By bigger community, you mean like from your graduating class, or with other students from other batches too?
I think both. Yeah, could be more mingling with the other batches too. But part of it is definitely on me myself, because I chose to be remote and stay in Tartu. I could have come here and live here, and maybe it would have been better. So yes, it was my own decision also.
Mm-hmm. Well, in regards to events, like we had a student council established quite late in your studies. Did you feel like it helps to bring that sense of community for the batches, to intertwine them? Or do you feel like they need to learn a bit more and need to try a bit more to make that connection between batches more stronger?
To be honest, I haven't had any contact with the student council. When was it established? It was late last year or something, because
around 4 or 5 months ago.
Yeah, something like that.
Yeah, because I basically finished the modules already in the end of last year, so I wasn't even in contact with the school that much after that.
Talking about motivation, well, they always talk in school that it should be a marathon. Don't do sprints. Like, take your time, and you're like, I don't care about that. I'm gonna do an Ironman.
And then you name this selection sprint as sprint. So this is putting.
Yeah, I think the community takes like a bit away from. It's from my perspective. It takes away from my like hands-on on the projects. We like party more and talk more and like do other kind of things, but then we work kind of less and we are more chill. Maybe it's better. It's good for mental health. No, I think nobody is finishing like within our group in like I don't know a year and a half.
So Georgi, have you had that sense of community while studying in here, or something was missing?
I had as much as I could have by studying remotely, but yeah, we had quite many online events. We had even, I think, some sort of hackathon with online hackathon with SCB. So and whenever there was something happening in Tallinn, then I saw a lot of people coming. So I had this sense of feeling, but this sense of community. But at the same time, what I noticed is that a lot of people are like forming groups of 4 people, and they are moving from beginning till the end in the same group. So for me, it wasn't like that, because I did first half with one group, then life happened, and then I did second part with the second group. But still, like, so I would say that I became friends with these 2 groups. But I think you don't talk that much with other teams, because you're moving in your pace, and it's actually never like you can never say how fast you're moving, because one task we had experience with doing one task for 3 months, and then next task maybe for 4 days or something like that. So if someone is ahead of you with 2 tasks, you never know, is it like 1 week ahead of you or it's half a year ahead of you. So
for us, it was the same thing. We got quite isolated of everyone else with our team, so we didn't really have even chance to switch towards the end. So we also like formed this 4-people group, and we moved through every task together. So we didn't get the chance to communicate with other people that much.
It looks like an optimal strategy to me, that if I'm switching constantly teams, I need to onboard, I need to talk and agree with many people, and it's just so time consuming.
there are different team roles as well, which people take by default. So by learning who is good at which role, you benefit the most, I would say. Because in the second team, which in the first team, I was this, so to say, team lead role, or was trying to be in that role, so keeping the pace, etc. But in the second team, there was a person who was like really good in this team lead role, and he was organizing stand-ups every day, making sure that we feel okay and we have enough tasks and enough energy, etc. And yeah, that person was really great in that role. So
did you ever feel like necessity or like a wish to share your experience with other teams? Because I'm always curious, like how other teams approach like work and how they manage like stress or whatever they manage. Have you ever tried to reach out?
you mean with other teams?
Yeah.
Not that much. During this scenes that we had 3 times, we were talking more between each other, because then you are more. It's not that someone is ahead of you half a year. It's like maximum 1 day. So and yeah, so then you communicate more and ask. But discussing these ways of working or something like that, I think. For that we had Discord, so a lot of useful information was shared there, and as much as you would like to learn, you were able to learn.
Yeah, I also feel like during the sprints, the sharing was the most intense, which is also the most logical because it's a completely new thing. And just during the sprints, I did feel like this sense of community because everybody was in Discord trying to struggle together through the exercises like 8 hours a day. And this was like really a uniting time during each sprint.
So what do you think for the remote students? Is there enough socialization? As you said that you felt the sense of community, or would it be more beneficial to have some more events?
I definitely say it would be beneficial to come to Jõhvi, to have this incentive to come to Jõhvi more often, so that we would have more chances to socialize. What do you think?
Yeah, I agree. But I'm trying to imagine, is it because of me or could school do something differently? And that's a strong, that's difficult question, I would say. I think that it's more about like students, like how much time you find to come by and meet other people.
So in this 2 years, for some year and a half, you've been through a lot of projects with a lot of different situations, with 2 teams, 1 team, different people, different approaches. What did you learn about yourself?
I definitely learned that for me, that I like sharing some knowledge. So when we first had, I think it was forum task, when we first had experience with databases. And as I was working as data analyst previously, I learned SQL many years ago, and I had quite much experience with that. So we did some sort of lecture for our team where I showed how SQL works and how to retrieve data from databases, etc. So I like that, and I think that saved a lot of time for our team, because otherwise they should have learned everything from scratch. What else? I think the second thing is that I was always sure that, like before school, I was using Python for some daily tasks, and Python is kind of language with which like it tries to understand you. So like it's more difficult to do something incorrectly with Python, which will explode your computer or something like that. And I was always sure that, you know, with some more strict languages, I will never ever like be able to write code in that. And then the third module we had Rust, and for me it was surprising that even in Rust you can, and about Rust people say that if code is compiled, then this is perfect program, because like Rust is checking everything. Most probably before compiling, you will spend 5 days trying to understand what borrow checker is doing and why it's not compiling, etc. But yeah, for me it was surprising that I was able actually to write this code in so strict languages.
So you exceeded your expectations.
Yeah, that was not emotionally very simple, but I managed.
I think there's another thing about Georgi. If the coding thing doesn't work out, then you'll go be a teacher. Like you said that you
about
had
SQL.
Yeah, you had a great time teaching people about SQL. Maybe think about this. Maybe you're gonna, you studied at Altech, but maybe you're gonna be a tutor there one day, like a database tutor, like a teacher who they could bring from the outside, you know?
Yeah, everything is possible.
Yeah. Or even maybe to give some talks to the people in here, teach some workshops about Postgres or something like that. Kevin, anything new that you learned about Kevin?
I think the most important thing that I learned is that I really like coding.
No. That's actually a great thing to think about. because like
I've learned I hate coding.
I mean, there are sometimes that you hate the coding really much when you're like stuck on the problem for like a month, or like for some weeks, for some days.
Yeah, but the most important thing is that like there are definitely moments that you hate it, but even if like during the time you hate it, you actually still love it, then you know you are doing like the right thing, and that's what I discovered for myself with coding. Yes, and also that maybe that for this independent learning, like getting the right cues and pointers and having some other people who struggle with the same thing at the same time is really, really beneficial. And third thing is that I discovered that I like really care about the success of this school. Like during the studies, I was also part of some working groups and stuff that try to improve the studies. So I discovered that I really would like Jõhvi to succeed long term, and would like to even contribute if possible to the success.
Would you give your past self any advice?
So you are asking what?
Try to remember the Georgi from 2 years ago.
What advice I would give to him?
Yeah. Don't take those two job opportunities and focus on studies.
No, I mean learning something new is always quite difficult, and maybe limit this like how to say, be in a more stable environment. But overall, no. Second thing I already mentioned that I should have come more often to Jõhvi.
Today you'll have an opportunity to party here. Implement your own advice. Yeah.
Yes, and for me, I guess I do think that I did everything pretty well, but maybe one thing is that I could have tried to enter the job market a bit earlier, maybe, because I wanted to finish the studies and then start looking for a job, but maybe I could have started looking for a job already during the final module or something. Maybe that's the one thing I would change.
Why do you think it's better? Because I've heard like different approaches.
Yeah, I guess like this, for example, this Java obstacle that we need to do a bit extra work. This was something I did like after finishing school, basically, but I could have maybe done it in parallel with the Rust module, so it wouldn't have taken any extra time. But yeah, that's really not a very big thing. It didn't cause me much delay in getting a job.
One more question about the job. You told us that you finished studies basically last December?
Yes.
Yeah, last December. And you applied to work directly after that, or you worked already during the school in the tech field?
No, I started looking in January.
I started looking in January. Okay, so did you need to learn some things on your own to be competitive in the job market, or?
Yes, the Java and Spring Boot basics are very necessary because pretty much a very large part of backend jobs are in Java in Estonia. So, and that's Spring Boot is a quite different experience from coming from Goland. So that took a bit of time, but it wasn't like insurmountable. It was doable, and when you get the homeworks, then you get to see what people are looking for, and when you do a couple of them, then you already can get the feel of what you need to know. That's at least my experience.
So yeah, here you have it, some good insight. If you want to be in the job market in Estonia, study Java.
And come to Code Jõhvi.
All right. If I drink coffee every day, is this enough? Because I think it's named Java in some languages. Or like, if I was a barista before that, is that enough? Can I pass a coding interview
To
for a
have a
backend
couple
developer?
of cups of coffee in my portfolio.
I can brew a mad coffee. Can I get the backend job? You won't see me in the front. That's what it's about, no? Backend being in.
Backhand being in the back, drinking coffee.
Yeah, you can do coffees for the backend people who do servers. All right then. So for the last question, to wrap it all up, what's your most memorable moment related to school?
I think for me, the first one is definitely the selection sprint. I really enjoyed the atmosphere and the sense of community that was born there. And the whole 3 weeks went by really fast and enjoyed every bit of it. So would recommend to everyone this experience.
Okay, so and after sprint, just go do something else with your life.
Go to the next sprint.
Then you have to just to work constantly, and that's not as glamorous as the sprint, but also needs to be done. Yeah.
I actually have like one more question arise because you actually been through the sprint prior to ChatGPT era.
Yes.
Oh yeah,
That's such a massive thing that we completely missed.
It's during our times there wasn't ChatGPT.
Luckily, there was Google and Stack Overflow.
But you actually had to cooperate with other people to figure out things.
I think I don't have this experience of doing sprint with ChatGPT, but I think it would be even more difficult than without ChatGPT, because with ChatGPT, at least my experience so far is that you can ask from ChatGPT some questions which you almost know answers by yourself, because you need to validate, because sometimes it's doing some things not very properly, I would say, and if you don't understand what it is doing, then you will just not learn anything. And even if it does everything perfectly, then still you need to understand what is happening and how it works and how you would write that one.
Yes, I think ChatGPT can be really detrimental to the experience. So for if any future sprinters are listening, then please don't use ChatGPT during the sprint for your own good, because the goal is not to finish the tasks, it's to understand them. So try to do them on your own.
But you always, if you finish something, then you always can ask from ChatGPT what could be done better. If you come up with your solution, or for example, I used ChatGPT with some tasks for writing unit tests. Like you have this function, ChatGPT understands what this function is doing, and then of course you can write unit tests by yourself, but you don't want maybe to waste this 3.5 minutes of your precious time. So you spend 3 minutes writing prompts to ChatGPT and then 5 minutes validating that it's correct.
As coding wizards, would you prefer a world without ChatGPT, like while studying here at least?
Should it be banned? Like?
Not like banned, it just disappears. You're a wizard. Come on.
Right.
You can do whatever you want.
Yes, during the sprint, I would definitely like the ChatGPT not to exist, because sprint exercises are really simple because they are meant for people who know nothing about coding. So they are also very simple to ChatGPT, and the temptation to use it, I can assume, is very strong, and not many people are able to resist if things get hard. So during the sprint, definitely I would like it to not exist. But right now, as a software developer, it saves time every day. So generally, it's very useful, and Copilot also.
But at the same time, you need some sort of discipline overall, and especially in code issue, because you don't have teachers who will punish you for not doing something. So that is very good test for your mental, so to say, side. That can you stop using ChatGPT even knowing that it exists. Can you imagine that it doesn't exist and learn it by yourself?
And always good to keep in mind that ChatGPT will not do your coding interview for you. So
Oh, yeah, that's true.
It's the same for me. It's like resisting sugar or like doing exercises is like a drug.
Georgi, what's your most memorable moments about school?
My most memorable moment, I really liked some workshops that we had with partners. I think it was very useful to get this validation with someone from our other side, like what is happening. We had these mock interviews at some moment of time. I think that was very. I really liked that experience because, maybe one. I'm a bit slow. I thought about that like 5 minutes ago, but then we'll say now that one more thing, like advice, which I would give is that if you want to like find a job in IT world or something like that, then maybe start applying even if you are not ready to get understanding what interviewers are asking. Like you will get this first test task, for example, and which you will have to do on your own, and you will understand, okay, what sort of tasks are people like requesting from people who from potential like employees. And most memorable. Yeah, I think I wouldn't pick one. I really liked different events with partners, and at some moment, at one time, there was even some software developer who came and went through our task together with us. So read everything, what all requirements for this. I think it was social network, which is one of the biggest tasks I think during the whole studies. So. And it can be overwhelming if you have never worked with such big tasks. But it was very useful that he helped us to like split task in smaller pieces, which can be done maybe in some couple of days or a week.
So there you have it, some wisdom from the new graduates, some words of advice, and with great power comes great responsibility. So don't become cyber criminals, don't become coders of malware. Use your powers in good.
And don't deploy on Friday.
Don't commit to master, yes.
Don't force. Anyways, happy graduation and thanks for joining us.
Thank you.
thank you too for having us.